This is going to be a really short presentation on the trial weight that we use in balancing. And I think it's kind of a different way to understand why we use a trial weight and what the purpose of it is and how we use it to figure out how much balance weight to add to our rotor. So if you're trying to balance a machine, the first thing you do is you take an original run. So you measure the vibration on the machine with it running with the original unbalance, and what you will see is, a certain amount of vibration at a certain angle. And you can think of this like the vibration we want to counteract. So the unbalance is causing it to vibrate this much in this direction, and we want to create an equal and opposite vibration to cancel that out. The problem is we don't know how much weight to add and where to add it to cancel that out because this is vibration, it's not weight. Now, one way I like to think of this is like you're playing golf, and that red arrow, basically, I want to hit a golf ball opposite that. And let's say I've never played golf before, I would have no idea how hard to hit the ball. So, what I would do is basically a practice hit, and I'll see how far that ball goes. And then, based on that, I'll adjust myself to get it to go how far I want. And so, how we do this in balancing is we add something called a trial weight. And we're going to add it to the rotor. We're going to see how the rotor responds. And then, based on that, we're going to calculate how much balance weight to add. Now, a simple way to think of this is imagine that our rotor is just a mass spring system. And if I have a mass M and a spring stiffness K, there's a formula that relates how far that mass will move under a certain force. So if I pull that down with a force F, it's going to move down a distance x, and the formula is F equals kx. So let's say I have the same spring stiffness K, more force, more movement. So bigger F, bigger x. Less force, smaller movement. So less force, smaller x. So basically what we are doing with balancing is you can think of it like I know how far I want this to move. I want this to move down a distance 10, let's say, but I don't know how much weight to add. So that's kind of like saying I have my original run. I know how much vibration there is. I know what I want to counteract. I just don't know how much weight I need to do that. So what I could do is what if I hang 1 gram of weight on that mass and see how far it moves? And let's say if I added 1 gram, it moves down a distance 5. Well, what that tells me is how much I need to add to get it to move a distance 10, because we have this linear formula. So I have F equals Kx. So basically, if I double the force or double the weight, that will double the distance. So adding 2 grams will make it move a distance of 10. All right, so when you do balancing, you have a choice. You can either leave the trial weight on and calculate how much more weight to add. So I could leave that 1 gram mass on and add another gram to get 2 grams. Or I can take that 1 gram off and replace it with a 2 gram weight. So you have both options. So I think this is a really nice way to understand what the trial weight is for. And, basically we put on a known amount of weight in a known place, we see what effect it has, and then we're just adjusting it to get the effect we want. Now, the only difference between this example and balancing is when we're balancing, we are trying to put it in, 2 planes. So, the shaft can move vertically and horizontally, whereas in this little mass spring, we can only move in one direction vertically. But the concept is exactly the same. So this has just been a short, talk about the trial weight and a different way to understand it. And I hope that this has been helpful and enjoyable. Feel free to connect with me. Here's my email address, my website, zencovibrations.com. I have a YouTube channel. You can connect to me on LinkedIn. And you can sign up for my newsletter using this QR code. I only send maybe an email once a month, so you won't be spammed or anything. And you can always unsubscribe. And of course, the best thing you could do is sign up for a vibration course. So I have ISO 184362 categories 1, 2, and 3. Those courses are conducted live online via Zoom, live in person, and those can be either private or public. So I have public classes, typically in Miami and Houston and some other places. So you can come on one of those or hire me to come to your site and I'll do a private class. And again, that can also be private online. And I am finally very excited to announce I now have self-paced online classes. So they look kind of like this presentation, narrated slideshows, except I have all kinds of cool animations and simulators, and it's pretty fun. And there's quiz questions to prepare you for the exam. So anyway, check out the new self-paced online training classes. Thanks again for listening.